I'm the Magpie! And it's a Monday! Last Monday, I made a video on the Casio CK200, which is this really cool Casio, really cool looking, I think was my conclusion, Casio boombox with a keyboard on it. And in that video, I presented a lot of other Casio keyboards with a cassette player in them. And I said that I think that I've catched them all, and there's one that I don't want to show now, because I want to show it now instead. I just want to say that I'm so pleased to see that at least a handful of you know about the Casio DJ-1, or Rap-2 as it's also called, or Rap Studio rather. It's actually really hard to find any information about it, but it very much just is a Casio Rapman keyboard, but the master version with two thingies and a cassette player recorder. So yeah, it's just an ultimate version of the Casio Rapman. They very much just have all the same sounds. So see you next Monday. No, but yeah, I think that all of you probably know about the Rapman. Maybe most of you have even had or have a Casio Rapman. It's one of those that a lot of people have. It's a very popular one. Super success for Casio. And if you want like a proper video on it, like if you want the best video on it, then a huge shout out to Keen on Keys. Just gonna link that in the description. He made a video very, very recently on the Casio Rapman and talked a lot about like the marketing and it being a super success, and of course opening it up and showing stuff. And he even makes sounds. It's just a proper video. In that video, he even shows a DJ-1 that I think is his unit, because it's on the same sort of yellow table. Does he have a yellow table? I don't know. I want to ask you. It's not well on that. Instead, we're gonna make some sounds. Or I'm gonna make some sounds in this video. I'm gonna do an experiment, because I did a really quick experiment with the Casio Rapman in a video a while back where I plugged it back into itself, because of course it's got that voice effector, so you can do some really nasty no input stuff. And hopefully with the cassette recorder player, that might sound really cool, because with this one, you are able to record to it. I just think I have a pretty shitty unit in as far as the cassette thingy goes, which it seems to just be the case with all of these old things. Of course, you could just do it with another cassette player, but it's so fun to have it on it, at least in theory. Of course, it has a striking resemblance in the shape to the TA10, but funny enough, I think like the Casio Rapman original was released in 1991, and then I think this one is released in 1992. So I'm assuming this one was, of course, after the Rapman. So I wonder if it's also, because I'm completely unable to find any information online. So if you have any information, feel free to put it in the comment section, because I really want to know. Like, it's a very curious thing. Super rare. I want to give a shout out to my friend DDC in Italy, who helped me acquire this one. Shh, it's not your video. Yeah, shout out to DDC. Thank you, my dear friend, for helping me acquiring it. Because it's, yeah, it never shows up for some reason, neither as DJ-1 or Rap Studio. Rap-2. And on that note, I also want to say that my theory is that it was first released as the Casio Rap Studio, Rap-2. And then the DJ scene sort of took off and they rebranded it to DJ-1. That's what I'm assuming. Since this one is before, they probably did rap to like tie them together. And then they were like, but you know, DJ, it's gonna sell so much better if we do DJ-1. And then they started doing all kinds of more fancy in a DJ series of sorts, not necessarily DJing tools or whatever, but having, you know, circular motions. It doesn't sound great in the speakers, but it goes pretty loud. And what's really cool with this one is that it's just a pitch, not for the keyboard. The keyboard also starts up in the worst sound. That's so weird. This one starts off in a way more normal sound. I don't know why, but you know, starts on vocoder sound. So this one has vocoder sound on 51. Because they just share the same sounds, you know. Except these sounds are not the same as those sounds. Like, all of those are new sounds. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, what I was getting to is that this one controls the pitch of these and of this one. Can actually plug it in already. Nice. I don't even know what I did number-wise, but that was nice. Those are a bit lower in volume than the keyboard. But that's kind of cool, you can do stuff like that.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Give me a beat.
Give me a beat.
Give me a
beat.
So it's kind of cool with those samples, but it's yeah, it's insanely gimmicky. It's too bad that they didn't do what they do on the original when you have like drum sounds or funny sounds. So you can have drum sounds and sort of pitch down. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that would have been just, you know, kind of nice to go in line with this one. But yeah, if we put it in pattern, we can of course just pick patterns. And the numbers should correspond. Right? So if I go... Is that the same? One in each ear. Also, I was really tight with pressing. They're not tuned the same. Okay. This being the world's very first ultimate Casio rap polyrhythmic performance, I'm gonna find a glorious combination. Give me
beat. Give me a beat.
However, the idea of taking one of these patterns and recording it to a tape, in this case a tape loop, then it's probably too short to do it justice. But then having that looping while you're doing another one, became a really cool effect. I actually like that surprisingly much. But a while back ago now, at least in the recording, hopefully not too long of a gap in between, what would have been really cool is that if you could control pitch, of course, of whatever is being played. So not only these buttons. Well, nice. But you get what I mean, right? So it's essentially like a circuit bend for pitch. Sadly, though, it's only for those buttons. But if it was possible to do it for the patterns or for the keyboard, mwah! So that might be a modification that I could do, actually, to just try to get a potentiometer to be attached to this one somehow, like mechanically speaking, so that it also controls a circuit bend of the entire unit. That would be really cool. Or just tape speed, you know, for the cassette tape, or both. But yeah, what if we do a no input thing with this? Probably not a great idea. Yeah, it's a really weird, broken sounding situation. That was really fun to do. I don't think it sounds amazing by any stretch of... I mean, I think it sounds amazing, so I can just stretch your imagination. It sounded amazing. Imagine that. But this sounds very broken, right? It's a really kind of peculiar type of broken sounding thing when you just plug it back into itself and play around with the awful voice effector stuff. But that coupled with having, I mean, that's kind of cool in itself. I do not necessarily want to do anything more, because everybody knows the Rapman, and this is just like the, you know, that really bulky friend who puberty just hit really hard, and now you don't necessarily have that much to show for it. I mean, good for you. Double the trouble, but not necessarily twice the fun. I just came up with that. But it's definitely one of those types of units that I intend to look inside and do maybe a little bit of bendy. So one day will be the Monday when I circuit bend it. And that Monday, if all goes well, I will also probably fire up the DAW and do something that I record into the DAW. So it's sort of like a two-parter. I just don't know when part 2 is gonna happen. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. This was a fun little experiment to do. And if you do a fun little experiment, then we have more in common than if you don't. Magpie out.